In a world where security is paramount, governments strive to enhance the safety of their citizens. On May 10, 2023, a new passport was introduced in Canada, designed to provide even greater protection and deter forgery. But this change came at a cost.
In this passport, there are 36 pages of iconic images, and these are what make us Canadian.
The pages of the Canadian passport underwent a notable transformation as the familiar historical images that had long adorned them disappeared. Removing iconic symbols like Terry Fox, the Vimy Memorial, and the Parliament Building caused a stir, fueling controversy and triggering a nationwide debate.
This is the new passport they're so excited about, Mr. Speaker. They erased Vimy Ridge to put in an image of a squirrel eating a nut. They erased Terry Fox, a guy who ran halfway across the country to fight cancer, to put in a man raking leaves. And they erased Quebec City in order to put in what appears to be an image of a boyhood prime minister swimming at Harrington Lake. Could this prime minister be any more out of touch with Canadians?
Apart from the ongoing political discourse, let us delve into the perspectives of Canadians regarding the recent changes.
Well, just like many Canadians, I'm not happy. I think it's a bad idea.
I don't care. I don't know, people don't go to look at their passport to remember Terry Fox.
Bad idea, because let's look at 2 points. Let's look at the immigrant perspective, and then let's look at next generation Canadians. So let's start with the immigrants. The immigrants that moved to Canada don't know much about Canadian history, And then the next generation, my next generation, my kids, I won't be able to tell them much because I wouldn't know myself. Even though I did study Canadian history, I would forget because it's not really like in the old passport, I would see Terry Fox. I would see these many old role models of Canada. I would see Parliament buildings. So I think for the next generation, they're not going to know much when they ask me. I wouldn't have any answer. What am I going to tell them?
So the changes they're making, so the security changes are good. They do it all the time. They updated it, 10 years ago. They added new security holographs and things, or holographic images. And they're also adding that you can apply online now, which is great. Because I don't know if you've ever had to wait at the passport office, but it is a 6-hour day, just sitting there waiting. And so being able to do the whole thing online is great to me.
In 20 years, I'll maybe forget what I learned in high school. But if I had the same passport I keep looking at, yes, I will remember those role models. I would remember what they did, etc.
We now turn to our distinguished panel of experts to gain deeper insights into their thoughts and perspectives on the matter. With a wealth of knowledge and experience, their reflections promise to enrich our understanding and shape the trajectory of our ongoing conversation.
So I look through these images that are, 100, 200 years old going forward. Will there be other images that will come up and take its place again with important people, places, and events? Perhaps. I don't feel the images that are being suggested for the new passport are those. Those are not significant.
The idea of erasing the images that are in the passport now is actually a slap in the face to those who have served this country, who've protected this country, and those who have built this country.
In the pursuit of a new life and the dream of citizenship, immigrants arriving in Canada find themselves holding more than just a passport. Beyond its functional role, these documents bear a deeper significance, carrying images that weave together the threads of a nation's history. For many newcomers, the passport becomes a doorway to understanding, a bridge connecting them to the rich tapestry of the land they now call home. One of the images removed for the passport is Vimy Ridge. Amidst the bitter winter, Canadian soldiers fortified their lines, trained rigorously, and embraced a united spirit. Their bravery and unwavering dedication carved a path to triumph, leaving a legacy of courage and sacrifice that endures in the hearts of generations to come.
I am very, very upset about that image particularly. I have visited those hallowed grounds many times over the course of my lifetime, and one only has to step on that ground as a Canadian to really feel that impact and the sacrifice that was made in really what the event which is called the coming of age of Canada.
Vimy Ridge was a great loss of life. It was one of the worst conflicts in Canadian history. It was an idea that Canadians from coast to coast to coast gave up their lives, their livelihoods, got on a boat, traveled across that great water, and put their lives on the line to give somebody else freedom. And the idea that they're bringing this freedom to their country is so important in the history of Canada. This is the beginning of Canadians being involved in world conflict.
The new images that replace the old ones on Canadian passports are notably more generic and commonly seen in everyday life across Canada. The previous passport design had striking depictions of strong pillars, symbolizing the foundation upon which this land became Canada. However, the recent update seems to have shifted away from this profound symbolism, opting for more ordinary and commonplace visuals that some argue lack the historical and national significance that a passport should represent.
So skiing or making maple syrup or jumping into water or building a snowman, I know those are experiences that people will have going forward. Those aren't going to be pictures that reflect the history. And on each of those images, for example, for new Canadians with their passports for the first time, there are titles of what these images represent.
To erase those icons tells people that those things are no longer of value, right? And it's a slap in the face to everyone. I'm not saying that we don't need an update, we don't need an upgrade. There's been other things in the last, like the Afghanistan conflict. There's new conflicts happening every day. There's things that can be added to the passport, but this has 36 pages of Canadian history that should never be erased.
You want something that is going to withstand the test of time and be significant over that course of time, not something that is particular of a day-to-day life, building a snowman, raking leaves, jumping into a body of water. Those are images that could be utilized somewhere else, a travel brochure or children's imagery for some other purpose, certainly not on something as significant and meaningful as a passport.
In conclusion, a collaborative expression of the people's identity should shape the passport. Allowing citizens to select elements they want would enrich its significance. The government's minimalistic design with generic images overlooks the chance to honor Canada's historical incidents. The diminishing historical images in our passports challenge our connection to the past and erode the historical identity that unites us as Canadians. This raises questions about preserving historical symbols and honoring their legacies. By embracing our past, we forge a stronger future, united in the shared pride of our nation. Let's create passports that celebrate our heritage and serve as timeless reflections of Canada's remarkable journey.